Welcome everyone to the websites meeting. We'll be starting within 2 to 3 minutes as more people join. If you have any agendas to discuss about, you can add them into the topics list. I have dropped the link to the meeting minutes. If you don't have access to the meeting minutes, just let me know and add your name to the attendees list as well. Welcome everyone to the websites meeting. We'll be starting within 2 to 3 minutes as more people join. If you have any agendas to discuss about, you can add them into the topics list. I have dropped the link to the meeting minutes. If you don't have access to the meeting minutes, just let me know and add your name to the attendees list as well. Okay, so I guess we can start with the websites call. Uh, so I don't think we have any newcomers on the call. I guess Ayushman Mishra, is this your first time on a call?
No, I've been previously before. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it is your first time on the websites call then.
Yes.
Okay, then do you mind, like there are different sets of people on different calls, so do you mind giving a short introduction about yourself?
Okay, so I'm Ashman Mishra, a second year CS student, and this is my first meeting in website meeting call, and that's it. I have previously contributed some beginner friendly issues here, and I'm looking for some issues in websites also. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. uh so I still don't find 10 people on the attendees list on the meeting minutes, so please add your names to the meeting minutes, which will let us know that you were present or your present won't be counted. uh, and so yeah, we'll start moving. First topic we have is by Nikhil Sharma about changes on Meshri.io, but I don't think Nikhil Sharma is present, so we might just have a look around those and we may move forward. So the issue talks about okay, so there's a message from Nikhil and he says that he'll be there in 15 minutes, so we can add this topic to the end. And yeah, that makes Nitish the first one to talk. So Nitish, would you like to talk about the contact form issue?
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, we had an issue with the contact form submit in the Safari browser alone, and the problem with that was that the when you have disabled the uh, third-party cookies in your browser, then it will not be able to function. Like it won't function properly because the website that's inside the iframe is like all those cookies belonging to that are treated as a third-party cookie. So in case you have a you have blocked the third-party cookies, the thing won't work. So actually, so I was gonna ask like what could be the if you guys have any suggestions to how to overcome that, or if that is not the case, then what we can do is that like the other alternatives would be that we can actually have an alert kind of alert dialog or something like that that shows that you have to disable third-party cookies in order to submit the form. But that would actually it's not very intuitive. But if we don't have any other way, then we have to go with that, or else we could actually give a link to the uh, direct contact form itself. So if you guys have any other suggestions then to how to move forward with this, we can do that, or we can settle with this thing. So it's basically to settle with this as to what we should do for this.
That's interesting. They have to disable third-party cookies, not enable them.
No, you have to block the thing that disables the third-party cookies. For example, in the if I can show you right away that. See, we have this option where it blocks all the third-party cookies, right?
Okay.
So if this is enabled, then we won't be able to do that. So basically, the user will have to allow all the cookies in order for that thing to function properly. So
Yeah.
actually, one more thing is that the browsers, all like different browsers handle it differently. For example, I have sent a screenshot over here that states that for Chrome, Firefox, and IE before it, they always accept third-party cookies, so it won't be an issue with that. And Safari never accepts third-party cookies, and this would actually explain why Safari has been facing this issue and not Chrome and other stuff.
Yeah, for whatever weird reason, I was looking at Safari's preferences last night, and
Okay.
there is a checkbox that's disabled by default under privacy.
Actually, I was looking into this as well, and the thing was that Safari never gives us an option to enable or disable cookies. So only thing that we can do is like here in the develop tab, you have something called disable full third-party cookie blocking. Only that would be solving the issue for Safari.
Yikes! Yeah, that's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
What does the other form look like?
The original contact form.
Yeah.
Just a second. Yeah, so basically we have this form over here, right? This is and this is rendered by an iframe. So instead of rendering this in an iframe, if we just have a link over here that takes us to a different tab, in that case it would not be an issue because only because this is rendered inside an iframe, the browser is treating it as a third-party cookie.
Okay. And how does it render in a new in a separate tab? Like in terms of how close does it look to this?
Yeah, actually, this whole form is provided by Mailchimp itself. So we would have exactly the same thing in a different tab.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, if it basically looks exactly the same. I mean,
Yeah.
does it look exactly the same, or does it look does it have Mailchimp's styling?
No, it looks exactly the same.
Oh,
it will,
yeah. Then that's
because this is.
okay.
Okay, sorry for the background noise over here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, then it sounds like only for Safari users they will have a new window open instead of displaying the form in line.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah, okay. But the problem would be that the URL wouldn't be okay. Actually, in that case, what we can do is that we can create a separate page for this form rendering alone in case of Safari, and we can redirect them to that link in case the browser is Safari.
Okay, and then that way they would still be at a layer5.io URL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. That's great.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to discuss with you.
Yeah, I mean, for my part, that seems like a pretty good compromise. I mean, pretty good solution. They stay on the same site. It pretty much looks the same. They just get a full page dedicated to the contact form. And this only happens for Safari users or maybe Brave users, but like the vast majority, the majority of the people who visit the site are using Chrome. Second to that, I think it's Safari. Either that or Firefox. And so, which is to say, most people will get the inline form. Some people will get a new page with the dedicated to the form. So not too bad.
Okay, then so I'll create a PR for that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. It's good to have a Mac OS brother, I guess. By the way, if you can't tell, for my part, like I've just woken up, and I think I'm about at 1/3 speed right now.
Anyone can tell that.
Yeah, I can barely keep my eyes open. It's too bright. It's not even bright in here. It's too bright. Cool. By the way, Josh, we have, despite my grogginess, we do have Debo Priya, who's on the call for the first time. So I'm excited to say hi.
Yeah. So I just totally forgot because I had a chat with her previously, so I thought she is already been on calls.
Old news at this point. Yeah.
Hello, this is my first time for anymore. I joined the community 2 days back.
Oh, very good. And then say a little bit more if you would. You know what?
I'm a first year student studying at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad. So this is my first experience for open source. I know some basics regarding the front end side of web development. I have also taken up an issue recently about the nav bar for the Discuss Layer website. But I have some doubts regarding it, which I thought I'll ask during the end of the session after all the topics are over. So I'm looking forward to work.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another thing to add, like before attending any meeting, she already has an account on Staging Discuss.
Oh, okay. That's a first. That's awesome. So jump right in. Okay. Very good. Good. Nice to have you, Debo Priya. Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so like just to sum up the topic, the solution which we'll be looking forward is the new tab for Safari. And yeah, so next topic we'll move forward to with Nitish. Nitish, Kaustubh. Is Kaustubh present?
Uh-oh. I'll go ping her. I don't see her on the call, but I'll go see if she has free time.
I didn't find his or her name in the Slack workspace, so I guess you have spelled it wrong.
Yeah, I have. Sorry, that's a guy's name. I used to work with. He was the VP of I don't know. I worked with him at Cisco. I worked with him at Seagate. Funny, he's back at Cisco now. But anyway, his name's Kaustubh Das. I don't know why I remember that, but her name in the Slack is not too far off from that, but it's custom. Yeah, I'll go find her. I'll go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we'll move both these topics again. So the next topic, like we also skipped the topic of mesh UI because the contributor has already mentioned about won't be able to attend today's meeting, and he has said that he'll be adding more to the proposal on Figma. So we'll talk about it on next meeting if he's present. So yeah, we'll move on to the next topic that is by Aditya Chatterjee.
Yeah. Hey, hi. I'm here.
Yeah, so
I'll
do you
just,
want to share your screen?
yeah, I'll just share my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, let me just go and move this. So this is the nav bar that I've been working on. So the problem that Lee said that was happening was that this subscribe part was just like when the subscribe is pressed on, the page was just refreshing. So what happened was there was no action to the form that is over here, but now if you press it, it's going to the next page where you give all your information. And also the navbar, it was not mobile friendly, but now I have made it mobile friendly, but I'm still working on the design. It is not exactly as the one that is on Figma. So the alignment, I have not really gotten to the alignment yet. Like I'm facing some difficulty in it, but I'll get to it. I'll be able to do it in a couple of days. And also the nav bar, it's because because of the nav bar, it's like screwing the design up right now. So I'll like with the design on Figma, it's like this, but the thing is like the subscribe has to move towards this, like all this has to be aligned together while this is in the center. So that's the only problem that's happening for now.
Okay. So to add upon to the navbar issue, it is because of we are using a template directly and it does not support mobile friendly. So we'll have to do it by ourselves. And I guess Devopriya has taken up that issue only. So if she is able to do it, or we'll have to look into another template if this template doesn't fit our demands. But yeah, by the time you can work on the footer, and yeah, great to see the improvements.
Yeah, actually the main problem was like there was the viewport was not mentioned in the, so I did that, and but still there are a lot of issues, like for example here, like all these are supposed to be in one line, which is fine over here, but when I expand it, the service is on the first line, then the mesh books and all, they go down to the second line. Like, there is some like I'm like I can't really understand what's going on, but I think I'll get there soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know the issue, but yeah, I'll like if you can explore it yourself so you can learn about it. If you don't find about like if you don't find how to solve it, then you can just ping me. I'll help you through it.
Okay.
Like you will get it easily. It's not that thing, but yeah, it's because you are not familiar with the site, so you might, like, it's your first time, so you might be getting issues doing it. So yeah, please go ahead and let me know if you face the issue again and you are not able to solve.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Cool. Josh, you made it sound like we were holding the theme or the lack of a theme. We were holding the footer hostage. Like if it doesn't meet our demands, we'll find another theme. We'll kill it.
Yeah, like when I was adding the navbar on the first place, so I looked about, and we were of the idea that initially we won't care about the mobile thing, so we just added those components, but now we are looking to care about, so we need to discuss whether to have it or we remove it and find some alternative.
Yeah. Hey, there's one. Yeah. What was it? The technical debt. It collects interest, I guess. One item that I don't know, between if Debo Priya is looking at it and if Aditya is looking at it, like actually that can be really great if they're bouncing ideas off of each other, kind of partner programming, if you will. It's really, I certainly work a lot better like that. One thing that I'm not sure if it's as obvious or if it's been addressed already, but there's a couple of gotchas, if you will, outside of the responsiveness on the footer. One is the font color. Oh, okay. I think it's been addressed. Probably.
Yeah, I've already fixed those. The ones that you had mentioned, I've already fixed those.
Nice.
So, like, I don't think the things that I don't think they overlap anymore either. So I just need to like align the names like in one line. That's all. Otherwise, everything else is working good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you, Aditya. And by the way, I wasn't torturing. Like, don't, don't like, don't care about whatever they write on the chat box. Like, yeah.
No worries.
Okay. So, yeah, moving on to the next topic. So for now, we'll just write it down as like Debo Priya would work on the nav bar, and you would do the word wrap thing. So yeah, moving on to the next topic. We do have the She Code Africa was like, there was a open source program for especially focused on women from Africa, I guess, like from entire Africa, which was named as She Code Africa. And so that program has already ended, and we are up to having a blog post about it. And I think most of the part is already done. So Anita, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I assigned this issue to Rob, but he said he's having. Hold on. Yeah, I assigned it to Rob, but he said he's having challenges with the issue, the page displaying on his own system. So I talked to Aditya to help him out with it, because he said it's more or less a bug. So Aditya was supposed to help him out to get everything managed. He has done everything. It's just test it and see if it's displaying on his end, and then would publish it.
So the bug is into the environment, or the bug is with the code, like making changes to the code?
I think it's the way he wrote the markdown syntax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So if the issue persists, then I guess like have you talked directed him to Aditya Krishna?
Yeah, we talked about it last on Friday, and he was busy through the weekend, so this week we'll look over it.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So okay, if anyone else wants to help out on the issue, then you may contact Anita for the issue, and she may guide you on how to help Jordan or how to help Rob on this issue. So yeah, you can reach out to Anita for that. Moving on to the next topic by Rustman. It was about the Twitter feeds. So I had asked for the update, and I guess it was in the issues. Yeah. So there's some problem from me and Lee's side that he has mentioned, that he hasn't received the API keys for making it through API. So Lee, do you have an explanation for this?
Yeah. So I guess to refresh me and everyone else, there is on discuss.layer5.io, the production site right now just has a feed of the latest activity, which is good on the right hand side, but that's it. It doesn't have leaderboards for like who is the most active or what was the most upvoted topic, and or it doesn't have like a Twitter feed or anything. So we were experimenting with bringing forward a Twitter feed, and I forget the first name of Rust NM, the user, but the username Rust NM, they had worked on the staging site to take the approach of basically, well, it's like there's an embed script that Twitter will give you for any Twitter handle to just embed the same like Twitter timeline that you've seen on any number of sites. And so this individual had success in doing that. Josh, if you refresh the page, if people can see like the Twitter timeline, well, yeah, okay. I think if you're in a browser that stays, you know how you're at the position where you can see the tweets? If your browser were to stay in that same position as you refresh, I think you might see it load slightly behind the rest of the content. And so it's like a half a second, 1 second later in terms of loading. And it's, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not horrible. It's not, you know, half the people aren't even going to see it because they're going to be doing, you know, having a session like you were where the page loads, they see the stuff at the top, they scroll down. By the time they scroll down, like, you know, it's loaded. And so like, this is certainly good enough to take this same style implementation and move it to the production site. If Rust NM continues to iterate on this, yeah, it's a he, I just can't remember his first name. Peter, no, it's not Peter. Was going to, well, look at, he had written, I think he's even got a link to it somewhere, but he'd written a separate set of JavaScript to basically not use their embed script, use a different approach, which would require use of Twitter API keys, which I'm happy to, you know, which we're happy to provide. That we have Twitter API keys for, we have 3 different Twitter accounts. And so we have also have like, it's either 2 or 3 different Twitter apps, like the apps that you would need that would come with an API key. And so we can certainly explore this. One of the challenges here with doing it in this alternative way is, well, we need to store and provide that API key somewhere secretly, ideally not embedding it in the JavaScript, so that, you know, those secrets aren't available for anyone to go pick up and use. And so that's something to figure out. In the meantime, just moving forward with the current implementation is good to do. And so, yeah, I guess that would be the right thing to do, is like to respond with, yes, we can get API keys. That's no issue. It's the secure storing and retrieval of them that's the concern. In the meantime, let's go ahead and go forth with the iframe. And so,
okay.
So yeah.
So I'll get back to him on GitHub, and I'll talk about this to go ahead with the iframe one on the discuss.layer5.io.
Thank you.
Okay. Next we have Nikhil Sharma about the changes on Meshri.io, and I guess he's present now.
Finally.
Hey.
So you want to share your screen, Nikhil?
Oh, sorry. Actually, I'm on mobile screen, so if
okay.
possible, you can.
I'll share. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, like the Lee provided me with the new mockup design for the Meshri.io. So like I've been rebuilding it according to the mockup design. So I made it some like 3 pairs now, if you can check.
Okay. The first one.
This is for home section only. Like I have implemented changes section wise. So like home page, used by, and other was, I think, yes, get it started with.
Okay, so I think for having a better comparison, we'll look it side by side.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one is before changes made by Nikhil, and this one is after changes made by Nikhil. And it looks pretty good, I guess. What do others suggest? I just feel thing is missing is the the performance test count and this GitHub metrics.
Yes, actually, this wasn't in the mock-up design, so I was like waiting for an approval. Like, should we add it, or I think should we leave it? So I was waiting for the approval.
Okay,
If
so
you say
Lee
like
here.
I will implement it, add it the stars and performance also.
Yeah, Lee can comment whether to have them or not.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, we're about to have a discussion that's going to be full of opinions. Like, this is always something that's difficult to do. Is like, hey, does this what you have look nice? Yeah. Look at the call to action button in particular. The run meshery up in that. Yeah. Like, does the other one look nice? Yeah, I like the gradient and the on the original, the gradient that's there, that like it's it's pretty as well, and it's nice that as you scroll, it breaks the nav bar and keeps it like it looks. It's just not too bad. There are like just some I don't know, subjectively or objectively, I don't know, that they're both. The design of them is both nice. Like what's really changed is the coloring of the background mostly, and then the coloring of the outline of the buttons, and then there's an absence of the GitHub information, and so rather than I think that the intention is for that GitHub information to be below. One nice thing that happens when you include that additional info is that the screenshot, it's shadowed, at least that shadow is visible on the current design, and it doesn't touch the bottom, which looks awkward here, because it's like, oh, there was a shadow, but then it gets chopped off on the bottom. And so having some additional info underneath will give it enough space to show its full depth, show its full shadow. I think the thing that's maybe more interesting, and maybe Victory, as she's here and sort of digests this, maybe she'll have an opinion now, or maybe later, is like, so why are we changing? Like, it's a pretty decent looking page. It's not too shabby as it is, so why are we going to expend the energy to go change it? Well, overarchingly, there's Meshery suffers from maybe a few issues, but one of them is people going, you can imagine a visitor coming to the site and saying, oh, okay, yeah, this is this is intriguing. So I've been wanting to run a service mesh. I'm not real sure which one, but this looks like this project makes it easier. And so, okay, let's see, like anytime that someone goes to install a piece of software or sign up for a free trial, there's like, it's kind of like mentally you're signing up for at least 15, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours of trying it out. Like depends on how fast it can be done. And so, well, gosh, before doing that, if it could just show me, the features and functionality, like if I could just look, watch a demo, try a sample environment, like something like that really brings down my barrier to trying it out. And so quickly scrolling through the features, I could instead just like watch a video or look at the features and then be convinced either way, like this is worth my time or it's not. That's actually probably the biggest challenge that Meshery is facing currently, or the site itself is facing currently, is it has like it has 2 animated GIFs, which are helpful to understanding what's going on. But like the first one isn't. It's I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a little bit less about the design and more about what people are actually taking away and how useful they potentially find the software. And so that's where we should probably focus our time. It's not that what's been implemented from the new design does not look good, other than chopping off the bottom of the. But part of this design here is like it's also not the best. Like this isn't a reflection of Nikhil in any way. By the way, he's implementing to design of this design of both designs. There's this really important concept of thing, like when you land on a page, what's above the fold, like what's above, thank you, Victory. Which is to say, like, what's the first thing that people see and what are they basically gonna, they're in their mind, they're basically going to say, oh, okay, this is what this thing is. It's like the thing that I first see right before I start to scroll. The service mesh management plane. Good. These are verbs. These are things that it does or that you do with it, and you can get started. Well, I'm not convinced enough to get started because that's an investment. Okay. So I'd like to know, like, I see that it does these verb things and I kind of get a sense of what a management plane is. Maybe I'm not sure. But what I'm trying to point out is like, Josh, can you do me a favor? Go to in a new tab to kuma.io. So Kuma is one of the service meshes that Meshery manages. It's one of the pieces of software that Meshery interfaces with and manages. All right, it is a CNCF project. Meshery is a CNCF project. These are not too far off in terms of, what they, well, in terms of their goals and kind of what they do. If we just not really paying attention to the particulars, but if we just sit here and reflect on the site design, not so much have an opinion about the lines and other stuff, but what I mean is like, does it do a better job of communicating to us and engaging us than the Meshery.io site does? And I think it's when we try to answer that question that we can then it's worth our time to update the design. And so to me, when I land here, it's like, okay, they've got a big fat screenshot. Meshery.io has a big fat screenshot, although ours is a little bit further down. You may or may not be able to see it when you land. You might see just half of it, and that's probably okay. Like it's enough to intrigue you to, flick the scroll wheel. So I guess what I'm getting at is like the get started. Maybe we're trying to compel them to do it just a little too early. Like we haven't shown them the picture yet. Maybe it should be after that. It's okay that things are centered, but it sure does take up a lot of landscape to not have them side by side. And that's okay. Like it's not that this design doesn't work. It's just, these are good reflections to have though. The amount of space between the get started and the screenshot, that's not like white space is always feels clean, feels comfortable, but it sure, just like walking down if you ever go shopping in a store and they have big wide aisles, so you have you're not bumping into the person next to you, it feels good. It feels great for the customer. It's also very costly for the retail store. That space they could be using to sell you more stuff. And so they're trying to find the balance between making it feel good and like sell. And so here, like it's the same thing. It's real estate, right? It's white space that we certainly need enough of it to make it feel good, not overload you with a bunch of messages in your face, which arguably Kuma might be doing because they've got a testimonial, they've got a screenshot, and then they've got like, hey, recent news. Also, here's what the thing is. It's the universal envoy service mesh for distributed service connectivity, and you can get started and you can explore it. Like, it's great. Both can work. Those are the kinds of things to reflect on, I think, is what if we, what if?
Yeah, I agree. Like we should be having like more information comparatively on the landing page. Like currently it shows like it's pretty blank. Like it doesn't show much about what all things, like we can add a bit of information more, like we can design it accordingly to have a few things like which are super important directly over here, and not wait for the viewer to scroll down and find about it. Maybe.
I think it's one of those things that's worth iterating on the design a little bit. Nikhil has done what appears to be a beautiful job. Like it's a beautiful landing header section.
I just had a doubt. I don't think like maybe we can move forward with the, okay, the logo has changed. The first thing.
No, it's actually like the size of the font is like small. It's not like the logo is changed. And also I was like wondering, should we change the color on scroll and also?
Yeah, I was going to talk about it, but I got my eyes on logo. So yeah, I guess the scroll, this color might not be good to suit on this jungle green, I guess, jungle green background.
Yes, almost.
And also the drop down white, so this can be improved a bit. Like it has, like this even has so much of white space, or uh, like the overall the menu can be refactored a bit. So I guess I'll help Nikhil on to this part. About this, I'll give him the feedback on what we can improve on this part. But to add on Lee's comments, like we really want to think about how we should design this page in order to like provide enough information to engage a user and like make them install Meshery and work on it. So if you compare it with Kuma, I think they are pretty good. Like they are a bit better than us because they show a few super important things over here. Maybe the short description or the news, but we are not far enough. We can have a small paragraph, not a paragraph like exactly, but 2 to 3 lines, or we can just expand this 5 verbs into something that would not harm a newcomer. Like maybe if I'm new to Meshery or service meshes, I won't understand exactly what Meshery does from these 5 verbs. So we can provide a small description if possible, in by changing in the design. So if anyone wants, like if anyone has any experience about the designing part or working on Figma, or wants to explore those things, you can like reach out to us. We can give you the Figma access and you can help us make changes into the design part. Already Victory is making those changes. And so
yeah, by the way, when a couple of things, as people go to use Figma, what we'll want to do is make sure that if you do make changes, leave the existing design as is and create a new design. You can copy it and start from there, but don't edit the existing one, because we might want to go back to compare where we were, so you can always go back. The thing that Nikhil, I might not have been as clear about earlier on, is that's actually what I was hoping that you might focus on, is like the challenge is like this design, it's been there a long time, and I'd held off on having people implement it for, well, mostly for the reasons that I was just saying, which is like, it's great. It's not clear to me that it's an improvement. It's not clear to me that it's better than what we have. like those colors are great. Yep, these colors are great. Like you could argue to go either way. Like that's not what's compelling. What's compelling is, hey, do we start off with a video? Do we start off with an animated GIF? Do we start off with a carousel showing a bunch of things? Do we like hey, are those verbs kind of meaningless? Should we just have a small sentence? Should we show them two getting started? Because we have a run, I think a get started in the upper right hand corner, which is a call to action. And we also have a get started like right in front of their face over there. It's like, is that too early? Should we have the screenshot up higher? We definitely, in this new, like half of the point of why Meshry was originally created was to facilitate research around performance of service meshes. And so that statistic where it says, it's kind of like a McDonald's billboard, like the old McDonald's signs that used to say like, oh, 200 million hamburgers served. And now it just says like umpteen billion, like they have no clue as to how many hamburgers have been served. But they used to update the sign every couple of years. And that's kind of, you know, similar to that is what we were going for. So it is important to include it. I'll tell you, there's some things that are hideous right now. Like it's not even about, it's not about, are we communicating the right thing in the right way? It's about like, that's ugly. And I think Nikhil, you probably have a couple of other PRs that maybe address this, but what's ugly is, Josh, if you scroll down, there's a set of internship programs that we list toward the bottom, which are unbelievably disgusting. Yeah, those. If you click on various open source programs, I mean, those are like, that's passable. Okay, maybe. The green button is just kind of silly. But if you click on the yellow various open source programs,
okay.
I think this takes us to, yeah, I mean, like this. I mean, it actually is a disattract. It's like, it's an anti-attractant. It's like, why would I want to spend time with people, you know, this team, like this team doesn't know what they're doing. And so, you know, like the whole thing, actually, the subscribe newsletter area, sign up for the mailing list area, like these were done fairly quickly. It's like it's a great looking footer, and we need to drop this stupid net preview thing. But the rest is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm sorry, the footer is awesome. The rest needs to go.
Yeah, the first thing we'll do is we'll drop the black. Because like we cannot have two headers on on the same site. Like this header is different and this header is different. So
right,
yeah. So this looks like great amount of work has to be done, and we have many contributors today. So we'll look forward if people can join hands and we can do this, achieve this faster.
Just real briefly, do we want to take a look at Nikhil's other two PRs?
Yeah, sure. The next one is the updated used by section. So we have a used by section where we list the companies or organizations that use Meshry. And updated company size, color, buttons color. Okay, so these are just changes into this.
So it's yeah, my
yeah, like
it's not for any good purpose, or like I like the work that Nikhil has been doing. It's been great, and some of it's just been undirected, like identifying bad, you know, not so great things and changing them. It's been good. In this case, I don't know that, like from the screenshot, that we're in any a better, or I guess this is the actual implementation. What's improved by this?
Icons.
Okay.
Maybe colors.
No, but like just size of the icons and button for the I think adopters. Like minor changes. It's not like I changed the whole layout or
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
So I guess what we are missing is currently on the Meshry repo is we are missing it with issues. Like we need to identify issues and we can assign them. Like we have contributors, but we are missing the thing that we are not having issues that we really want to focus on currently. So yeah, I think we'll look into it as soon as possible. I guess I and like we will ask the channel as well, the to help us through the issue part. We can create those issues where we have the changes like that are more relevant currently as compared to these things. But yeah, these are also like not like these are also good changes, and thank you. The third PR is about getting started section.
On smaller devices, like there is a problem with the scroll bar, like when you go to the installation steps.
Okay.
You can see in the image provided, I think.
So is the I don't think the color. Okay, I opened up the wrong preview, sorry.
No, no. Like the overflow of the scroll, like it just banned the whole area. So like I changed the scroll bar colors and alignment of that.
Okay, okay, so this looks good. Okay, so quick feedback for this other two PRs.
Ooh, wait, shit. Wait, I missed it. Is that the no? Sorry. No, we can't have that.
We cannot have the green.
I swear. I mean to laugh. I don't mean to chuckle or what have you, but yeah, Nikhil, you've done some fine work. Let's if we can say those PRs where they are, iterate on the design a bit, and see if we can arrive at a place that is improved. Like landing a couple of these PRs might be, like, in the best of ways, a little bit challenging because we're trying to go from an okay place, like a decent place, to an even better place. So that means it really has to be done. You know, achieve. It doesn't have. It's not necessarily about looks as much as it's about achieving the right messaging or the right. And so it'll be a little bit harder, which is good. There is one area that pretty clearly it would be hard to. So Nikhil, actually, my ask had been like, hey, to kind of look over the site, identify things where we need to fix some stuff. So it's the fact that you brought more platforms here, that's been really great. Like, we're missing those platforms, and that's very helpful. The programs area, it's hideous, and almost any change would be better than what we have. So that's an easy win, easy place to win. Community section, well, it's using a different font, I think. It's taking up a lot of space. If you go to the community section just under, yeah, it's like that's pretty easy to make look better. It's not so great. That's an SVG that can be colorized any which way for those people. There is one other thing that
I think this one is to be changed.
Yeah, the black on the
yes, like the hover
another
also.
thing. Yeah, it's a wrong green too. Yeah. The under community, we put in a fair bit of time in the past on having community member profiles, and it's a decent contributors. It's a decent page, and it does let you filter on people by whether they're a meshmate or a maintainer, and whether they're active or interactive. Like, it is a couple of issues. One, because they've not been. Two, if you click on like Anita's face or anyone's face, does anything happen? Okay. Okay. you get a page. Okay, so our challenge is that we do many more things other than Meshery. And so it was a long time ago that we stopped updating this. So this site is really out of, we stopped updating this when we started using layer5.io/community/members. And here, so it has this similar functionality in terms of like filtering based on who the person is and how active they are. And then we've taken it a bit further. If you go to any individual member, community member page on Layer5.io, you'll see contact details, a little bit of a bio. It's better. And like this person, that he works on Meshery and other, so it's not just Meshery. So the question is like, are we ready to contributor page on Meshery.io? Or shouldn't we? The MDX, the markdown that drives both of the sites for the individual contributor, for the individual member is about the same. So sustaining them isn't too much of a challenge. It's just this one isn't done horrifically well. I don't know. It's one of those things to think about. I don't know what the answer is.
So are we suggesting of having only the Meshery contributors listed on this website?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, that's
yeah,
an answer.
I agree. We should do that because like we have people like me who haven't contributed to Meshery, and we shouldn't be showing all these people over here, like only those who have contributed to Mesh. Like we have projects website, like for the common one we have on the community page, but for the projects individual we should only have the project contributors.
Yeah, something to think about. It could be taking it away altogether. I don't know, because we're not keeping it up to date. Most of those people are in here a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, it doesn't, like, does that mean that the Get Nighthawk site, getnighthawk.dev, which by the way, it needs, well, I guess it's about done, but getnighthawk.dev, it doesn't have a community thing. So, you know, should we consistently be having profiles on each site showing who's working on it, or?
So I would suggest, like, if we are having the project badges already on the Layer5 community, so we can skip on having those on the project individual pages, probably.
Yeah, agreed. It is going to be too much work managing across all the sites.
So like if anyone wants to, like this is the common platform where we can see the all of like we can already see like what all projects they have worked on, and that, so we shouldn't have individual, like then the idea of having this thing, the project. So what we can do is we can maintain, like currently we do have profiles where no projects are mentioned. So we can what we can do is, in this direction we can maintain a central thing where we ensure that each contributor has at least one project or a community or wherever he or she has contributed, and we can skip on having the individual members page on the projects websites. Like just my views.
Sounds about right. I've not wanted to do it because it doesn't feel good to tear down work, you know, like tear down a page that we worked on for quite some time. But we're having a hard enough time sustaining this page. The other one, much less potentially on the SMP site, the Nighthawk site. Like we do want information about community. We do want to let people know that it's a to learn and do things. And so, but yeah, probably pointing people to this site, which has an overarching calendar for all the activities. And so. So something that could be done on this site. Wait, there's a good looking guy, Nikhil Sharma. Okay, yeah, he's got a profile. Nice. One thing that we could do here is that we've just got one drop down for Meshmates maintainer.
Yeah, I was suggesting we can have the projects drop down along with, and we can have the projects like Meshri, SMP, and Get Nighthawk.
That seems like a clear. We should probably make an issue.
And for them, then what we can do is like if it's not a big deal, we can have the link, like we can have the call to action from the like contributors, like see the Meshri contributors, we can have the link to this page with the filter applied if possible, or not filter applied but directly this page.
Okay, so of the other things for us to talk about. So by the way, some of the stuff that we're referring to, some victories and some others might go work on design on Meshri.io. The thing that we just mentioned, hopefully we'll create an issue about that, and that's open for someone to jump on. There's another area that we should get to really quickly because we're just a few minutes after, and it has to deal with what Kashambi is potentially going to look at. It's the notion that when people sign up to the newsletter, right now, the signups for the newsletters and for what Nitish was showing earlier on the contact form, when someone clicks submit, that goes through MailChimp as a service that we're paying for. We don't really use it much, and it's a problem. We need to be sending out newsletters. Like Meshri was just adopted into the CNCF. Service Mesh Performance was just adopted into the CNCF. The issue is that, and Josh, if it's okay, maybe I'll share for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is the wrong screen, but so and all of you, I think all of you have probably been recipients of an email from this MailChimp box. And so because what we end up doing is sending out a welcome to the Service Mesh community, this welcome message, which is currently paused. That's because I was recently working on it. But the message that goes out, it has dated info. It tells people to join us at an event that already transpired. It has images. It's not good. It's not good. And so there's 3 user accounts that we can have at any given time. And so Kashambi will turn one down and send you a new one so that you can go in and take a look at this email template. Now I'm going to have a hard time getting to it. Sometimes navigating this is a little bit. Edit email. Okay. Is in here. Is like, it's a little bit small, but these are old events. We're talking at new events. A lot of this is fine. Some of it needs to be updated, but the styling of it is pretty, old. The colors we should probably change, like that dark green. These are broken images. These are supposed to be social links, like. So that's something to try your hand at. The way that they have this is as a visual designer. Like you go through, you can edit the content. Cool. Did anyone else want to take a look at this? The MailChimp stuff. So Kashambi, I'm going to send your account now. but otherwise that was what I wanted to say about MailChimp.
Yeah, so like if anybody is interested in exploring how it works and how you can send those templated mails, then you can just contribute it to it. Okay, great response. So okay, then if anyone else has any topics, or we can just wind up today's meeting, because already we are 7 minutes past the time we should be completing it.
I had a question.
Yeah.
So I was having a problem with accessing the code for the web page. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to get it from.
So for which web page?
For the discuss layer 5.
Okay, I will point you out to maybe a YouTube video, or maybe I'll explain it to you in on Slack, uh, because
Okay.
I've done that pretty few times before as well. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah, I just wanted to add that can please point out the things that don't need to change at any circumstances in the newsletter that need to be remain untouched. Experiment with all the other things.
Sorry, I wasn't able to get what exactly you were trying to convey.
I just wanted to say that what are the things that you want me to not change in the newsletter at any circumstances, so I could experiment with all the other aspects of the newsletter.
Okay. So maybe Lee can comment.
Yeah, immediately there in the footer, there are a number of social icons that are actually broken in. So that's one thing one small item to work on to fix. And so I can give you a little more info after the call as well.
Okay. So okay, then I guess if anyone has any topics remaining, we can discuss it into the next call, because we'll be ending this meeting for today. We'll be calling up. So thank you guys for joining today's website's call. We had good discussion about almost all topics. And yeah, as we mentioned, for any contributions, you can like take up the issues, or in some cases you will have to create issues on your own, or maybe we'll create issues and assign. But so we are also on the same level as you, so don't we like you can just go ahead and create issues and work on it. Like there's nothing sort of uh, that we would be creating issues. You can work on them on your own. And so if you have any doubts, you can ask on the website's channel. Like we'll prefer you ask on the channel instead of on personal, because that would benefit a larger audience, because there might be people who will be having the same issue, and they would get benefit if it's answered on the public channel, on the website's channel. So yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for joining, and see you all on next consecutive calls on the specific projects or community call or the websites call next Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, nice to see you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.